and gentlemen, let's go. Travel, life, and fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
You're listening to the Life Adventurous Podcast, presented by Say What Radio.
The Life Adventurous Podcast is for fun-loving people who want to find, create, and live with adventure as a norm in their lives. Not just that type of adventure that makes you shit your pants, but the type of adventure that lights up your soul and helps you to feel even more alive. I'm Jenny Holla, your podcast host, and welcome to your life adventure. Welcome to another episode of the Life Adventurous Podcast. As you guys know, sometimes I bring in surprises, and I am on a kick right now with bringing on some amazing people so that you can have some additional inspiration and guidance. And today's guest, I'm super excited because we have known each other for quite a few years, and she was there for me when I had launched Wanderlust Life Mag. And she was one of the contributors and writers, which was amazing because I had all these amazing people be a part of that dream. And we've stayed in touch over the years because I put that to rest. But she has continued to be a powerful person in my life. So Moira is a women's empowerment life coach, author, speaker. She's a podcast host. I was actually on her podcast recently. So I'll let her talk about that a little bit more, but she is an intuitive and entrepreneur. She's a traveler like me and like you guys. She's been all over the world. I mean, she's a powerhouse. You guys are going to absolutely love her. So please welcome Moira.
Thank you, Jenny.
Of course.
This is going to be a lot of fun. We like adventure and fun.
Yes. So tell us a little bit more about like who you are and what you do and about your podcast and what the heck's going on.
Well, I've been an entrepreneur now for over 3 decades. I know that sounds scary, but it's not. And I've always been about helping people. So I was in the healing field many years ago and got trained in many modalities. I am an intuitive. I work with spirit, and I always coaching or helping for sure. And always looking at the bright side. And my thing is always for people to create and live the life they love on their terms. I added on their terms about 5-6 years ago into my tagline, and it really came up. This podcast show came back because of everything happening in the States and politics and all that. And that I didn't want people to buy into the fear or buy into the lies, or I wanted them to take back their power and be inspired in their life, because a life is a gift and it's a miracle. So to get people back to that and shift their mindset and break through all that guck that we sometimes create for ourselves. So every day is a day that you love. And we are the light, we are the love, and to remember that. So that's a big part of it. And the podcast, Heart, Soul, Wisdom, is very much about inspiring and empower people to live their best life on their terms. And it's also a global movement that I want to create for people consciously to up-level the vibration of the planet and each one of us, which I think is happening through this pandemic. And we're being a gift. Believe it or not, this is a gift. There's a gift in everything. And I know we'll talk about that. This isn't being done to us. It's being done for us. So have gratitude for that part of it and explore what that is.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more because, to be honest, as shocking as the news was for me initially, like, oh my God, what do you mean I got to stay inside? What do you mean I got to stay at home? What do you mean like all the bars and businesses are closing? Like that was pretty shocking and life altering, to be honest, because it was like, whoa, wait, this is my life here. Like, well, you messing with my life. I got sports and stuff to play. And so it's my husband, Jay, and I were talking about this morning. We both were talking about how powerful it is to be able to be in control of your thoughts and what it is that you're taking in. And so when you talk about the power of seeing this time in our lives as a gift, that's really, I believe, a mindset shift. And it's a way to be able to raise your energy and your vibration. But I'm curious for you to go in a little bit more into what that gift means and really how you can use that silver lining and that gift to be able to shift some of your energy. What do you think about that, Moira?
Yeah, the part about the gift is, if you think about, first of all, we know this, the present moment is the gift. We only have now. And Eckhart Tolle talks about that in many of his books are great, but the power of now, and how I love one of his quotes. I'm going to share that in there for you, that nothing ever happened in the past. It's happened in the now. Nothing will ever happen in the future. It will happen in the now. So what you think of as the past is a memory trace stored in the mind of a former now. So when you remember the past, you reactivate that. So he's more or less saying, if you're in the moment right now and you shift your consciousness into just being present in your presence, you start to feel alive and your energy, you become more vital. And if we start to look at there's a gift in everything, then we think, instead of like, why does this always happen to me? Or why is this happening in the world? It's the different questions you ask yourself, or why am I so stuck? Or how long is it going to take for this thing to be over? And I can't deal with this uncertainty, versus asking other questions in seeing what is the gift in this, and be quiet to yourself and just listen. Because we know right now, in the news, there's good news. There's acts of kindness and thoughtfulness happening. I see families in this neighborhood biking together, walking together with no cell phone, no electronics. And, people are connecting with friends by phone or Zoom or Skype because they have that time. We have this time again, this gift, you can create a program to help others as we do. And many people do, or learn a new skill, cook something new, just build in new rituals and new habits right now. And that's part of the gift too, that these people that used to, like, I've been an entrepreneur so long, so I don't travel and I don't have that. But people who traveled for an hour and a half, 2 hours to work home, all that time is being gifted to them. And a lot of people are scared. They don't know what to do with it. They don't even know how to be with themselves because they're not used to that. They're used to doing instead of just being.
There's so many gems that you just shared there. And there's about 15 different directions we could take the conversation. But what I'm thinking, and what I think would be kind of fun to talk about right now is, okay, let's face it, we are in like a very different time right now with the stay at home. Okay. But even if you're listening to this, like a year from now, there probably is something big that's happened, or about to happen where things feel different for you. And so I really want to talk about the power of law of attraction and asking empowering questions and how that can really set you up for success. Because one of the things that I'm noticing is that the better my questions are, and the more that I'm looking for the positive, the more I continue to see the positive show up, like on social media or from friends, etc. So let's talk a little bit about that, using law of attraction and empowering questions, especially in a time when things kind of seem like totally different for you.
So sometimes the universe calls us into big life transitions, which that's what's happening now. It will never be the same. We won't be able to go back. The game rules have changed. And when we have internal nudges, it means it's time to expand. And the universe loves expansion and growth because that's the essence of our being, to grow. If we're not growing and we're not doing new things and it's like being stalemate and sitting and not doing anything, then you're more or less on the dying path. You're not on the growth path. With the law of attraction, you can get in alignment with what you truly want and start to look at that right now, especially right now, to get in alignment with your dreams is vital because you have this opportunity to do that and really get clear of what that is. So the first part in the law of attraction is to get crystal clear on what you want. And this is going to happen in many areas of your life, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially. And then the universe will orchestrate this for the best. And we have to get out of our way. The how, leave it to the universe because we don't know. We don't know how it's going to show up. No, we don't know right now with the uncertainty. But we can have choice points in the moment of how we go through life. So the first part is to ask. And the second part in the universal law is to believe, know, and trust. Once you've sort of cataloged, ordered from the universe what you want, you don't keep ordering. You trust that it's going to show up. And the third part is the biggest part, which is harder for, I think, most of us, is to allow, let go, be in ease and flow, and allow whatever beautiful miracles show up in your life. So that's the three components of the law of attraction in a nutshell.
So one of the things you said, you talked about internal nudges. That caught my attention. So can you give some examples of what some internal nudges are, maybe even some you've had recently?
Well, I meditate every day. I do a prayer meditation in there, and I read inspirational material every day, and I journal when I want to journal. I don't do that every day. My writing's atrocious, so I don't have to. I can hardly read it. But one thing I have with the internal nudge, I really, some personal stuff going on in our family, which is challenging, and I needed to let go and really say to the universe, I'm letting this go. I'm surrendering this to you for the highest. And, to take away any anxiety or stress or worry, because that's not serving me and it's not serving the people in my life or the people going through some health crisis. And I also really realized big time, just the other day, I really realized my family who are at home in the home that we're in. My mom's 92 and we've been her caretaker for many years, and she's not in a home. She's here. And yes, it's a lot of work, a caretaker, but I get to spend time with her, and she's not in a nursing home. So I feel so blessed that she's here and she's safe. That was something I was just like that nudge to really get clear on that, Moira, your own gratitude, the bigger part of here. And it's just the simple things. My husband's here, my son's here, we're safe and we're here together. And the nudge for me to change my thinking. You see, that's a reframe, right, in your mind. Instead of like, let's say, Cliff and I down the line want to own a sailboat, live in the Caribbean. That was one of our dreams. It might change, but it's still there right now. And it might look different. But to really be in the moment with that nudge, that look how everything that's around you, right? And with nudges with your work, if I feel so inspired to write something or create something, I stay on that and I sit in it. And sometimes I get tired and I go, okay, take a little rest, come back. But I get into that writing and that flow. And that's a nudge for me telling me what to do, or go and rest, go outside, get some chai, go eat something healthy, go have a lemon tea. Those are little nudges in that area. And also maybe to call someone that you haven't talked to for a while. Those are all little nudges.
Do you feel that those internal nudges are in line with setting intention, or do you feel they're separate, or how do you feel intention plays into this?
I think they're definitely in line with intentions. And I think that's a great question you have. The book, these are the book's references I love to give. Anything Wayne Dyer is good for me. But his power of intention, he talks about intention as a force in the universe, and everything and everyone is connected to this invisible force. And once you start putting intentions out of how you want your day to unfold, or once you get that nudge, how you want your day to unfold, or you might say to yourself something like an intention, just for today, I choose clarity. Just for today, I choose love. For today, I choose to focus on gratitude and be the expression of love. And those are all intentions. And those tie in with having gratitude with my family, going to write something, thanking whatever flows through me for writing, because it's not mine, it's flowing through me. I feel like each one of us, if we ask, we can be an instrument of love or peace for the highest, for the good of myself and everyone and humanity. So definitely they're both tied in. And I love the one, Louise Hayes. She has one to shift you through the feeling of uncertainty. And hers is all is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this situation, only good will come. Now, if people had that every day right now, that shifts you. It shifts what you're thinking of. And that's tied into your intention, what you're saying to yourself and what you're saying to others and what you're watching on the news and all the rest of that.
So you're talking about different intentions. I feel like some of the things you're saying are potentially affirmations or potentially mantras. Yeah. So do you feel that intentions, mantras, and affirmations are all the same or different?
I think they're connected, because if you're looking at an intention like before this meeting of you and I having fun to come together for this podcast, I have an intention that we were going to have a lot of fun and bring a lot of value to your audience. So that was an intention. And I can say it in any way I want. I can say it as a mantra, or I can say it just as an affirmation. I think they're connected.
Okay, so being that they're connected and they could potentially be interchangeable or used similarly, what are some of the intentions, mantras, whatever word you want to use? What are some of those like really positive things that we can use when we're feeling down or when we want to feel really empowered? Do you have some to share that are your go-tos? And then talk about too, not even what are your go-tos, but like, how do I use it? Do I walk around all day saying this? Do I just say it once and it happens? Like maybe break down how.
I don't go around all day saying. I usually, when I do my meditation and my prayer and my reading, I'll have an intention at that time or this time before we talk. But you can also just in your mind have the intention that you're going to be creative and you're going to bring great work out into the world. And then you go into your office and you just say it, you hold it, and then you let go of it. You don't have to be stuck on it all the time. Or the intention of that you want to be kind and loving today, or receptive to a message that you're supposed to uniquely bring out in the world. I do that one every day. That the work for me to work on right now, what is the work I can do for the universe, God, whatever it is for you to work through me as an instrument for that. And then I let it go. So usually in the morning I do that, or just before like this, us joining each other, or I call a friend who's in need and I have an intention to be there and be a good listener for them for that call. I did that today for my mom. My mom, she comes up, she's like, oh, a coffee would be nice. And I said, yeah, I can get you a coffee. And then I was rushing back up to my office and I had a water and something I was eating. And I thought, I don't have to rush up. I can sit here with her when she's having her coffee. So those are just catching yourself in the present moment. And then the intention of being there and being a good listener to my mom, whatever she wants to share.
So I'm going to throw a little wrench in here a little bit, right? So now people are home. possibly home with their spouses or family that they're not normally around. Okay, so maybe they're like, hey, whoa, get up out of my space. I mean, I love you, but shoot, what's all this, right? So I feel like we're talking about, these intentions and mantras, and I think it's really good to have that energy and be able to go a high vibe. But how do you feel that interacts when you've got other people who may not, they're like, dude, get your head out of the clouds, man. Like, what are you doing? You're all happy and uppity in the air. How do you feel like that works in a family dynamic when a lot of people are home right now with people they're not normally home with, even though they love them? There's still a little difference there for some.
I think this is a time that people can review their relationships when they didn't maybe have time before. And yeah, maybe it's not comfortable. That's the expansion part again. When we expand and we change habits and the way we're being, there's the gift again that literally start having conversations and listening to your partner. Ask them or tell them, even share with them, no blame game, but I'm not comfortable being around you all the time. I'm not sure how to do this. But have open-ended conversations where you both can explore doing life in a different way together. At home, yes, a lot of people, especially with children in that, they're finding new ways of being, or they're feeling overwhelmed because they're teaching them schoolwork or that. And again, they're being given this time because a lot of parents, let it be the mom and dad go out or one of them goes out to work, when they go out, they come back, they're not there with the child all day. Where I know that was my case growing up. My mom was the homemaker. My dad went to work and came home. And he said many years later, by the time he got home from downtown Toronto, he was tired, wouldn't see us really very much, and then off to bed. And then it happens the next day again, And versus right now, if people just realize, this is the thing, like here, start listening to great material. This is an opportunity to grow. And no, growth is not always easy. Think of the butterfly in the cocoon, right? If you just broke open that cocoon and the butterfly would die, it has to go through that metamorphosis. And then it's no going back to what it was before. And then it comes out with wings and it's this beautiful butterfly. That's kind of what we have an opportunity to do right now. I'm a positive person. So if I do go into any negativity, I even check myself out. I'm like, okay, is that important? Really? Like, let's look what we're focused on here. And I have talk to my own self. So people like that in that environment, I would just say, start looking at inspirational things that you can listen to. There's a lot of new skills you can learn. What could you learn right now during this time? Maybe you don't like your job and you want another job. Start asking these great questions.
Yeah, you talked about you're generally a positive person, but sometimes you do go in those negative spots. And I feel like I've talked to many people where maybe things have been a little more negative or they felt a little more down or a little more heavy, especially with what's going on. And they're unfamiliar with that. Like, whoa, what's this? I'm not used to this. What's going on? So 2 questions. 1, have you felt that at all in the past month with everything going on with coronavirus? And then 2, whether you have or haven't, how do you feel like when you're deep in that? Because sometimes it's not as easy as just saying, oh, okay, I'm going to shift it right here. Sometimes it just hits you.
Well, I don't feel it with the virus in this pandemic. I have this it's not higher, I'm higher or something, but a very strong spiritual belief that this had to happen for us. We had to stop the way we're doing. There has to be a breakdown in the systems that we move more into unity consciousness. And we're not this one for me, one for you. I'm rich, you're poor, I live here, all that crap. It can't be that anymore. We are now into this Aquarian age, and Aquarian age is one of unity and also about electronics and technology and all that. But we know that. We're seeing that in the news. People where there's been lies and deceits, the old systems are breaking down. And that's part of the part, again, breaking down for us. So we come back to this unity of oneness. And that's where the compassion and empathy is showing up for some people. And the opportunity in your household to be in a different way with your family. And there's so many, look at today on the internet. People are offering free courses and everything, free books to read, because they want people to have these resources. And I would just say to anybody that's in a place that's fearful in that, to first know that fear, you have a choice point to go observe the fear, just observe it, but don't attach to it and don't watch the news every day, every hour. Check in, see what's happening, but don't have it as every one of your conversations at, because we know that in the law of attraction too, what you focus on expands and you keep attracting more of that. And do you really want that in your life? And fear also lowers your immune system and it shuts down possibilities. So you're not in a possibility frame to look at a new way of being, which is, we're being called to do that in a big way.
I mean, if someone's really in that more negative space, right? Like that kind of hit them harder than they're used to. It's not always going to be like, okay, I'll just switch my attention right here. Sometimes that doesn't work because you're kind of like too deep, especially if it's a new feeling to you, or newer rather. So just kind of like, what do you feel, or what would you tell those people if that were to come up?
I would say reach out to people that can help you. Like even you and me, like people can reach out and they can have a call. They might have one little gem that switches their mindset. So they think, oh, that's something I can reach to as I'm in this breakdown pattern or depression or anxiety, and have that one little something that they can change that. I know when I was trained in NLP, one of the things that I shared with my clients too after I learned it is if you're sitting there and you're like in fear and uncertainty and it's just getting deeper and deeper and it's just like wrapping you up in that and you feel like you can't move, you're stuck. And if you just get up and breathe, because when you breathe deeply, you move out of that fight or flight place where your adrenals are always going. And, you walk out into nature, you breathe, just simple things for us to add. So I would say reach out for help to a friend, to somebody who's a coach or somebody that can help you. And go watch a funny movie or something. I know that sounds silly.
Oh my God. No, it doesn't sound silly. I'm going to stop that right there because that is not silly. Oh my God. We have watched so many funny movies. I'm like, oh my God, I'm feeling so heavy today. We have to watch something funny. Like, for sure. Because I was like, I just want to laugh, especially being inside all the time and being an extrovert. I'm used to having some other outlets. And so we have to find ways to create different outlets right now, to be able to break up the energy. I think whether you're an introvert or extrovert, but it's probably even more important for extroverts to figure out ways to diversify the energy, because otherwise it's like, okay, I'm still inside. I've even had some moments, Moira, where like I have been like living in my little bubble, like, oh, there ain't nothing going on because I'm still over here creating content, working on things, right? Some aspects of it feel the same as it was prior because I still have more than enough work to do and content to create, right? And I'll go outside to get the mail or go to the grocery or something, and then it hits me and it's like, wham! Oh my God.
Yes.
What? Wait, oh my God. The things are different. I kind of forgot because I was just like in my little bubble.
Yeah, I don't forget at home. I also go out for groceries. Like I'm trying to do it every 2 weeks for that. And I just went out the other day to get some stuff. And with all the people wearing the masks and the streets are more deserted and all this social distancing and everything, it's like something out of some futuristic weird movie in some ways, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of like, oh, is this a movie? Is this really happening?
What is going on?
And then I noticed in the neighborhood, the families together in that, and people are sitting down eating with their family now. And so I don't forget it's happening for sure. We were going to go on a vacation. We canceled that. And because, no, we're not traveling and we couldn't take that risk right now anyway. And yes, things are changing and we don't know, but I do believe we're going to come out stronger. I think there's an awakening with this heart math experience and institute that I will give you the link to put below this for your listeners, Jenny.
Yeah.
They're giving away they said April and May, maybe longer, their whole heart math experience. Like they're gifting us.
Okay, what is heart math? What the heck? You might be getting ready to say it, but I'm like, whoa, what is it? It sounds awesome.
I watched them. I haven't studied it for years. And it's all about our heart intelligence. And it's about stress release, personal stress release, and revitalizing our energy and our resilience during this time or any times of challenge, and restoring our mental, emotional, and physical balance. So, and with social fulfillment, it's about giving us global hope and optimism. And they have things that you do, there are programs that you listen to and go through, and you literally touch on all those things and your heart intelligence and heart coherence, how our heart and our brain and our body and mind come together and communicate. And when we align in this sense, we create transformational outcomes. So we can do this for the world. And there's a group of people. It's a whole movement. But can I share with you a quote that their Heart Math founder said?
Absolutely.
Okay. He said, the coronavirus pandemic is awakening multi-millions to the reality of our interconnectedness. We are all in this together, which can turn out to be the bright side of it all. Yes, millions are isolated by shelter in place or separated by social distancing, yet sensing that it's now time to care for each other more than ever. So that was from the Heart Math founder. And I believe that's my belief. So I put out again in my meditation and prayer for, our frontline workers and people that have to go out, and for the families who have lost families, like people in their lives and friends and people who are going through this right now, to hold the energy of love, light, and healing. And I hold that space every day. So that's what I do. But these other things we're talking about is just, this is a new way of being. So it's, again, we won't be going back like the butterfly. And the other thing is that I've read that, a lot of people say Corona holds the potential to be literally a turning point. This is we're at this crossroads of human civilization. Again, we're not going back. There's a breakdown and it's going to be a breakthrough. And all those old systems not working in governments and business and greed and lies and deceit and all, it's going to be dismantled. All those dysfunctional systems are going to dismantle. I don't know the timeline or anything, but we are now coming to a new mode of operation and how we're being. And I'm excited about that. That's just big.
As you were just talking about that, I just had this hit me that corona in Spanish means crown. And so interesting because crown, oh man, I got to sit with that a little bit. But as you were talking about kind of what we're in the transition, I was like, oh my God, corona means crown.
Didn't know that. That's very interesting. Because one thing I found just before we got together here is the Chinese word for crisis consists of two characters. Now, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but I'm just going to give it my best. W-E-I, I think that's Wei, which represents danger, and J-I, Qi, I think it is Qi, which translates as turning or changing point or opportunity. And this person who stated this said, no doubt the COVID-19 is a Wei Qi moment for our world. See, that's powerful.
I've got chills throughout my body because I think these are some really powerful things to think about and even to help reframe. Because if you've been feeling not 100% yourself or anxious or just not in flow, these are some great things for you to really sit with and say, hey, how can I reframe? How can I step into the law of attraction like Moira was talking about? How can I ask empowering questions? How can I use affirmations, mantras to be able to, intentions to be able to help reset my course for the day or set the course for the day? You have all these tools that you can use, and Moira's done a great job of laying them all out. So I'm curious, Moira, if anybody wants to get in contact with you or what kind of things and tools and resources or whatever, what do you have for someone if someone's like, oh my God, I love what she's talking about and I want to reach out?
Two things. All those powerful questions, I'm going to put that into a sheet so people can, if they want it, they can go to my site and email me, and I'm just going to create that. The other thing that
hold up, slow down. What are you going to do? That sounds awesome. Break that down a little bit more.
I want to create these empowering questions that people can carry around with them every day. Or the one that we had, or Louise Hayes having that All Is Well one. That's already, people reached out to me after I sent my newsletter on and said, Moira, thank you for that. I'm going to use that every day. So I know it's important for people. So I'm going to create that, but I don't have it created yet. But you know what? I'll have it created for you, for a link again for you. Along with, I've decided because of all this timing, I want to give away my 8 keys to unlocking infinite passion, discover your passion and create the life of your dreams. I created this program many years ago, but it's still relevant to right now. And that's something people can download the workbook and listen to the audio and start getting clear on the bigger picture, their vision, and how they want to be every day in their life. So we won't go into the questions, but those are 2 gifts. Then this heart math experience, to leave that link for your listeners so they can go into this fantastic program, which is 9 chapters they have in it, and a bonus about inner balance. That will give them time to go listen to that and shift their state. Books, I could do that on a list for you. I have so many great books that are great.
Oh my gosh, you have so much. You've already given so much, but I know we're definitely guys you guys are probably salivating oh my God, I can't wait to get my hands on some of these things as I am. So don't worry, this will all be in the show notes. You'll be able to go and pick one, couple, or all of the resources that you feel like you're all guided to use.
Whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. So Moira, as a final question, as we close this off, how do we stop living in fear? Fear is going to be around. It's not just now. Fear will always be around. But how do we stop living in fear?
Tony Robbins talks about that in the sense of, again, it goes back to recognizing it and then just observing that feeling, but not diving into it. And then at that moment, choosing another feeling that uplifts you, like love. Because again, on my last newsletter, I wrote, love is everything. So to take away that fear, you focus on the gratitude, you focus on transcending through that, through love and compassion and empathy for other people and yourself going through this transition.
I love that. So glad you were able to spend some time with me today.
How exciting.
There's so many things to take from this. I'm very excited. I'm feeling very peaceful and grounded and intentional. And so I hope that you're feeling the exact same way, with a little bit of fire in there to go create your life in these next days and weeks and hours to be able to serve you. So I'm so grateful you were here to share all of that.
Thank you. I'm also grateful to be here with you, Jenny.
All right. Until next time, guys. See you later.